How's it going today, everybody? Welcome back to Troy's Hobbies RC. Today on the channel, we're going to be revitalizing one of my original Losi LMTs. This is one of the first two trucks, one of the first two Losi LMTs that I bought. I now own five actual LMTs and then two other LMT-based trucks. So this is one of the very first two that I bought. It has some eBay axle housings under it. But other than that, it's pretty well stock. We're just going to put a new stock differential in it, and I'm going to kind of take you through the process of how I do that. So let's get into this build and see if we can bring this old truck back to life. Alright, before we get into tearing this thing down and rebuilding the differentials, just kind of want to talk to you guys about a couple things. First and foremost, this is the 1.0 LMT. Yes, I'm aware that the 2.0 is out. Yes, I'm aware that I'm very late to the game, but there's a very good reason for that. And whenever you guys see the 2.0 LMT on the channel, I'll be explaining that to you guys then. So just be patient. Just know that the 2.0 will be on the channel here eventually. We just had some real life stuff going on, and I'll explain that in the video here in the future. But for right now, if you're going to be repairing one of the original LMTs, just note that the part numbers for the differentials between the 1.0 and the 2.0 are just a little bit different. So I'm going to make sure you guys have the correct part numbers to repair your 1.0. So you will need your inner pinion that goes to the drive shaft and into the axle. It is LOS 242042. Again, LOS 242042 for the pinion gear. And for the actual ring and differential, it is LOS 242033. Again, LOS 242033. So those are the part numbers you will need to fix the front or rear differential in your LMT 1.0. So let's go ahead and get into this. We're going to start tearing it down, and I'll show you guys kind of the process that I use. Alright, everybody, I have the axle housing and everything all torn down, and upon inspection, we have a couple of things we need to talk about in this differential. First and foremost, I want to say that the ring and pinion that is in here, it's not stock. So, I believe I used an RC all-wheel drive differential and ring gear from Amazon, and I don't think they are an appropriate match for this particular axle housing. I think these differentials are specific to the RC all-wheel drive LMT axles, and if you use them in a stock configuration like this, they are prone to stripping out. Time will tell in the other one. I have a truck that has a complete set of RC all-wheel drives on them, and so far they've been just fine. So maybe it's a tolerance issue. Maybe there's just a slight spacing issue that's causing this. But that looks like what's going on here. So the solution I'm going to do is, instead of using the RC all-wheel drive diff here and the ring gear that's inside of here, we're going to take all that out, and again, we're just going to put in just the regular stock differential and stock ring gear. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to fill it up with some 100K dip fluid, and then we're going to reassemble it all. I'm going to check the bearings and everything as well. The external bearings were fine. The axle shafts were straight. Everything was clean. We will check those bearings though and make sure they're okay. If they're crunchy or if there's something weird going on, we'll go ahead and replace them. So we go ahead and start building up these diffs. We're going to get back into another time lapse. So you'll see me rebuild the differentials, and then we'll go ahead and start rebuilding the truck. All right, everybody, we are back. Before we test the truck out and everything, make sure everything's running right, I just want to show you guys what I found, and there were actually multiple problems going on here. Uh, like I mentioned earlier, there may be some compatibility with these RC all-wheel drive ring gears with anything other than an RC all-wheel drive axle housing. So something to keep in mind. However, what I did find and what I did notice is this is a little bit dirty. Let's see if I can wipe it off just a little bit better. But these are bevel cut gears, or they're spiral cut gears, right? Um, I replaced this in the middle of a race in a rush, and what I think happened is I just threw it in there, and this one, the pinion gear inside, was just a regular straight cut standard Losi pinion. And so what happened is the lash they just shredded each other because they're not actually compatible. Um, Also, and this is another thing, on this side here, these metal shielded bearings, the metal shield broke off and was causing maybe potentially some movement and things like that in there as well. So that's three different issues that I found just in this one differential. So you guys need to keep an eye on these things and make sure you're watching your bearings, especially the little heat shields that are on it. I replaced mine with some really good fast eddy bearings, so that should be fine. And then I just went with a stock LMT ring and pinion gear. So what I might do here is all the internals on this are still in perfect shape. The outdrive cups are good. All that stuff is stock, right? So I may get another stock ring gear for the outside and a stock pinion, and then just keep these as a backup because the internals are perfectly good. But other than that, we got this repair done. The only thing we need to do now is throw a battery in it and make sure everything's running smooth. It's snowing outside right now, so we're not going to run it outside. But I will be testing this here in just a couple of days. So um, let's fire this thing up and see what we got. All right, we've got a battery in there. Let's power this thing up and see what happens. Power up. All right. Oh yeah, that sounds healthy. Nice. All right, the next thing we need to do is get this thing outside and test this thing out. So I'll be doing that off screen, and we'll get this truck back into competition. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for today on Troy's Hobbies RC. As you saw, we tore down the rear differential of my Losi LMT 1.0 and replaced a few different parts on it. And just want to let you guys know, I think I have the exact same problem going on in the front diff, where I think I just hastily threw in some ring and pinions, and they were not the correct ones. So I'm going to go through these as well, but this thing's going to be back in competition here pretty soon. I'm looking forward to seeing how it does, and yeah, it's the good old Losi LMT. So that's going to do it for today. Give the video a thumbs up if you guys liked it. Subscribe if you guys are new. Make sure you guys follow us on all of our social media. Troy's Hobbies RC on Facebook and Instagram, as well as troyshobbiesrc.com, our website for Colorado RC Monster Truck Challenge and everything else we have going on. So that's going to do it for today. We'll see you guys later. Peace.